You got to rehearse mentally who you're going to be. And the act of rehearsing and thinking about who you're going to be, planning your behaviors, begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like that experience has already happened. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's a map to the future. Now, if you keep doing it, firing and wiring, the hardware becomes a software program. And the next thing you know, you're thinking like a happy person. You're acting like an unlimited person because you would put the circuits in place. And then the last step is to teach your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like before it happens. And if you keep cultivating those states of mind and body, neurologically and chemically, it's going to begin to become familiar to you. And you're going to go from one personality to another. And the disease or the problem is going to exist in the old personality, and you're literally someone else. And the person doesn't have to visualize their cancer going away. They'll just tell you the cancer was in the other person. I'm somebody else. It can't live here. And the disease naturally goes away. So it's a side effect of a change. I mean, I have sat with my body, Ben, for hours, and I have watched my mind run all over the place. And there are certain thoughts that you really want to believe in because they're part of you. But when you start really overcoming your own personal limitations, and you're no longer knee-jerking to the people and conditions in your life because you've been sitting there in your meditation, and your body has thrown the kitchen sink at you, and you're just saying that's all you got, that's it, I'm gonna keep going. Sooner or later, when you break free from the chains of those habits and those emotions, and your body begins to liberate energy, we've measured this, and you start feeling joyful and free, and your heart starts to open, and you're in love with life, and you're moved, and this is a feeling that's not coming from anywhere outside of you, it's coming from within you. I guarantee you'll stand in the presence of your greatest adversary, your biggest betrayer, the person that threw you under the bus, and you'll look that person in the eye, and you will have nothing but love for them, because you'll see a part of yourself you used to be that you no longer are. And the moment that happens, you no longer belong to your past, you belong to your future. And now you see it as a lesson. Instead of like holding a grudge, you free them and you free yourself, and you're on your way. And that's called evolution. We only complain about our life when it's not working. Nobody complains about their life when they're joyful. They just don't. You only complain about your life when you're angry or bitter or frustrated. So if a person starts working on regulating different states, then they'll say, God, I feel so great. I'm not going to lose this feeling because of that person. I'm just going to see them, wow, I used to be like that. I just totally get them. And now you're free. And I think that's the beginning of unconditional love. I always start my meditation by raising my energy. I always start with placing my attention in the center of my chest. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And then I start practicing slowing my breath down, and then I start cultivating an elevated emotion like gratitude or joy or freedom. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling really grateful to be alive. I mean, and I'm doing that without any reason. I'm just doing it because I want to.
And you're familiar with it.
I can do it because I've practiced it enough times. Just like people practice pretending being suffering all the time. Sure. It's the same thing. Then I start raising my body's energy. And then when I do that properly, then I'm ready to create. And so then my next step is to get beyond myself. And our research shows that if you take your attention off your body, you become nobody. If you take your attention off people in your life, you become no one. If you take your attention off the things you own, you're in nothing. If you take your attention off the place you have to go, you're in nowhere. If you take your attention off of time, you're in no time. That's the moment you become pure consciousness. That's the moment that you all of a sudden start connecting to that unified field or that quantum field that I talk about. So I go as deep as I can into that unified field, and I keep surrendering deeper and deeper into it, because the more I connect to it, the more whole I feel. And now I'm in the place where all things manifest from. So then from there, it just depends on what I want. I may change my energy and tune into the potential of a mystical experience, or I may create a new opportunity. I don't know, whatever it is I'm working on, or just whatever I choose to do it. And then I sustain that for a period of time, and then I surrender it to a greater mind, and get up ready to have my day be unusual and different. So I'm passionate about it. I do it quite a bit. I have created amazing things in my life, some things people wouldn't even believe. But I'm not the only one. I mean, there's
Sure.
so many students in our work that got it down. So for me, there's not a whole lot of things that I want material. I mean, I've had a lot of material things, and it doesn't really change you. What I really want are those profound mystical moments that just your jaw drops and you just go, wow, I got this all wrong. Wow, I got to really rethink life again. And I love those moments because some conditioning tends to be removed, some veil tends to be taken away, and you get a clearer view of the spectrum of the way life is. So look, I mean, I'm not the type of person that's going to ask you to talk about your childhood. I'm not the type of person that's going to ask you, to bring up issues from the past. I don't think it's as important. What's important is the emotion.
Okay.
So the emotion is the residue. It's the end product chemically of an experience. So if a person is living by the same emotion every single day, it means they're connected to their past, right? Mm-hmm. So when they work on overcoming the emotion and they learn how to get beyond it, the memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom, and that's the name of the game. So I never really care about the incident. It's incidental.
Okay.
What I care about is the emotion. So when a person comes up against their emotional belief and they think they can't go any further, and then they go a little further, just like at training, and when they have that breakthrough, they get downloads. We see it on brain scans when we measure it on the brain during meditation. All of a sudden, they'll get a download of information. And I know that person is downloading information about themselves, something really profound. And you'll see them well up emotionally. You'll see them feel something like something really profound has just happened to them. That, to me, is worth all the gold in the world, because that person in that moment is not only having an insight, they're getting an upgrade biologically. They're connecting to something, and the download is so profound. It's not coming from their memory bank, it's coming from the field. And that field of information that's being downloaded into their nervous system is really reorganizing who they are. So I love the idea of a person getting beyond themselves, and then when they get beyond themselves, to be open to however it's going to happen. I mean, if you try to reproduce it, you're going to be in trouble, because you can't. You just got to have an intention, and you have to surrender. And there's got to be that delicate balance between intention and surrender. If you over-intend, you're trying. If you over-surrender, you're lazy and lethargic. It's that kind of razor's edge where you just got to have an intention and keep surrendering it to a greater mind and keep trusting and just being open to the unknown. And then, boy, when you hit pay dirt, then all of a sudden it's always relevant to you, because you're the one that's doing, you're the one that's making the effort. And that's when it transcends psychotherapy, it transcends pharmaceuticals. Your nervous system is the best pharmacist in the world anyway. All of a sudden you start feeling amazing, and then all of a sudden you look back at your past and you say, I don't want to change anything. I understand why I had to have that experience. Now I'm free. That's the moment that we're all waiting for, or at least we're creating. We have a lot of our people that are in our work that are scientists that do our measurements. They use a lot of neurofeedback. But you can ask those scientists when they see the type of brain changes that take place in a 4-day workshop in our events. They'll say, we've never, ever see the changes in neurofeedback as quickly as we see in some of the work that we're measuring. So ours is kind of like, I love the principles. I just think it's a little bit more of a shortcut to get there a little faster. So we do, for example, we do seated meditations, we do standing meditations, we do walking meditations, we do lying down meditations, and then doing it in all of those different positions, all of a sudden the person starts to become the very person they're focused on becoming, and that's the